Other than commercial websites, probably the biggest type of website on the internet is news websites. Things like Facebook and Twitter could also be included in this, because the main functionality around which both sites operate is the central newsfeed which goes through each website. To actually represent each story within each news website, particularly on each newsfeed, we can use the section element to define the area where we're going to have our newsfeed. We could even give this an ID of newsfeed. And within this, we're going to have several articles. We can have as many articles as we like, obviously. And these represent each story that's actually going to be displayed on each news website. So if we take a look at how this is actually going to be represented, if we refresh the page, we obviously get all of these article sections. The section and article elements are more or less the equivalent of divs. They don't actually add a whole lot of functionality, but their main purpose is to make code easier to actually read by people, as well as obviously helping search engine robots when it comes to actually identifying the content within the page. On the Amazon website, we actually had a masthead. And all that this is a separate section which is styled differently. And it can be within an article or it can be on its own. And this is where a product which has been selected to be heavily advertised will be displayed. And again, that will go above the main articles. And with some CSS styling and some images, this can be made to look basically the same as Amazon. So if we go back to Amazon here, this section would be our masthead, and then we obviously have a main section here for our news feeds, and we have different, in the way we've created it here, each selection here is one article. You could of course have many sections with each of these being individual sections, and then each product being advertised here being an actual article on its own. The way you go about setting this up on your website is completely up to you, as long as it actually forms a logical structure. In the next section we're going to be looking at form input fields, and there are a lot of new input fields available within HTML5, so make sure that you don't miss it. If you take a look at the date, for example, this is fully implemented within Chrome, and the drop down box is visible when you actually click into the element. With Firefox and Internet Explorer, that's not the case.